faithfuls, the captain's crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee. On rumble.com/LFA TV, also on X. Welcome to Ungoverned. It's a big day today. It's a big day. Huge. You know that? We're going to dance. It's a huge day. Well, we're going to get peace today. What are we going to get today? It is going to be one heck of a day in Washington, D.C., at the White House. Is Zelensky going to behave today? Is Zelensky going to behave today? That's a good question, right? I would say it's a fair question. Is Volodymyr Zelensky? Oh, you have to understand, Putin take a land I will not give back. Listen, and I saw already some of the comments about, oh, is he going to wear a suit today? I know, like some people are being funny about it. Fine. I don't take this the wrong way. Don't take it the wrong way. But I don't really care if he wears a suit. Like, to me, it doesn't really matter. You know, maybe some people disagree with that. But I don't really care if Zelensky, I get it. It's like a respect thing. I understand. Totally get that. I understand all that. But the most important thing from today, coming out of today, is not what Zelensky is wearing. It's whether or not we get closer to peace between Russia and Ukraine, right? Can we all agree on that? I think we could all agree. Now, yes, would I prefer it if Volodymyr Zelensky respected the White House, respected the office, respected the significance of the day, and instead of wearing his green, whatever that is, that he always wears, those, the fatigues, that he instead wore a suit and presented himself a little better? Of course I would like that. But that to me is stuff that doesn't matter. I don't care. Now, if he does this, I won't be watching. I will be listening. But I don't care if he signs a damn peace deal in a Speedo. Just sign a peace deal. Just sign a peace deal. That's all I don't care. I don't care what he wears. Or, okay, I care about what he wears, but I don't care about what he wears more than I care about the result of what the day produces. How about that? I'll dunk on him all day long about the suit, though. I think it's funny. But it's, I saw a lot of people, you're going to wear suit. First and foremost, what I care about most, what does Bongino always say? Outcomes, right? Outcomes are what matters most. Outcomes. I care about the outcome of today, not what he's wearing. It's just me. Some people disagree. They're like, no, you must wear a suit. You must respect the president. I get it. But the signature on the paper doesn't change based off of, what he's wearing. So let's see what the day produces. We are going to take a trip down memory lane and go through what happened the last time Volodymyr Zelensky was in the Oval Office. Not in a suit. But again, to me, doesn't matter. So let's get into, we'll get into all that in just a second. I have so much video from Friday, video from way back a few months ago, Putin stuff, some funny Putin stuff, by the way. Martha Raddatz, does anybody remember the name that we gave her? Martha Raddatz.
Oh, Cheeto.
No, that's Karen Bass, and that's Chia Pet, not Cheeto. We did have video from Karen Bass, though. Martha Raddatz, where is Stubbs? I saw Stubbs in the chat. Stubbs has a wonderful HR Shaw says, what if Volodymyr Zelensky wears a scuba suit?
He can wear his birthday suit.
No, he cannot wear his birthday suit. How about if Volodymyr Zelensky wears a Darth Vader suit? Do we remember what we call Martha Raddatz? Stubbs is there. Do you remember he was the one who came up with this one. I called her a talking catcher's mitt. Remember that? I say she's a talking, but he called her something even better. And I'm going to see if he remembers that. And if I see it, I will pop that on the screen. While we're waiting for the, because I remember the nickname that Stubbs gave her. It's one of my favorite, matter of fact, it's one of my favorite nicknames that, there it is. There, he got it. He got a great memory. A skin suit wearing beast of a woman. That's just so perfect. It's not nice, but it's perfect. It's funny. We joke, sort of. Jeremy says that Zelensky should wear knee pads. I think, maybe there's a pair left over in the vice president's house. Maybe Vance can look and see if there's a spot that he hasn't seen that Kamala had been to, and knee pads. I think Donald Trump, what he should have done, remember back in the NFL, there was a point in time where like Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, they did everything kind of outside of the rules. One time they pulled the fire alarm at a hotel, or they had like a fire drill at a hotel the opposing team was staying at, so they didn't get sleep the night before the game. I think Donald Trump, because Zelensky stayed in the president's guest house, I think Donald Trump should have done something like that, or showed up at like 3 a.m. and knocked on the door and said, listen, here's the ground rules. You little midget. Here's the ground rules. No tantrums tomorrow. You understand that? All right, we're going to get to all that and more. We have a ton of video. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We may even get, believe it or not, she's back. We may even get to Joy Reid, okay? So we're going to keep the glasses on standby. By the way, MSNBC has rebranded to MS Now. My source news opinion world. So I don't know what they're going for, but whatever it is probably not good. Let's talk to you about our friends over at OFP Farms, shall we? Explore the wonderful quality of Faith Farm and Freedom products with a special limited time 15% discount on your entire purchase. Take a peek at the lineup from OFP Farms, America's go-to soap company. We love OFP Farms. Famous for natural ingredients, their skin-loving perks of tallow and goat milk and a big heart for farm-to-family skincare. Whether you're looking for gentle skincare or thoughtful gifts, these products bring together expert care and good values to make your daily routine better. Do not miss this chance to enjoy premium products that support your health and ethical choices for the whole family, like the Outlaw Soap. What do we say the Outlaw Soap does? The Outlaw Soap will leave you smelling like a felon. That's right. Look at this. This is the Outlaw. This is Donald Trump, the felon. Remember when Bongino started calling him the Outlaw? And then we're the Outlaw, right? We're doing the Outlaw president. It was great. And then, so Denise and Corey at OFP Farms stuck Donald Trump's mugshot, the Mona Lisa mugshots, on the soap. And now the soap is felon-scented. Our good friend Snarl Barkey said that in the chat not too long ago. Was it last year when that came out? He said, smelling like a felon.
Funny.
It was so good. Also got the Goat Kisses lip balm. I got the cherry pie from the Patriotic Smack Pack. Go to OFPFarms.com, the small family farm with big, beautiful love. OFPFarms.com, promo code SHAWN for 15% off of your entire order. That is OFP, Oscar, Foxtrot, Papa, Farms.com. Promo code Sean, SHAWN. OFPFarms.com, promo code Sean, SHAWN for 15% off of your entire order. OFPFarms.com, promo code Sean for 15% off. All right. We'll do one video right now of here, let's just do this. Because this is unrelated to the rest of the show. Did you see on Friday the journalists just shouting at Vladimir Putin? Did you see them? They were by the way, this is a guy who doesn't speak a lot of English. And they're shouting to him in English. And he made this face. Now, I don't like Putin. I don't trust Putin. I know he's a bad guy. I'm not trying to celebrate him or be a Putin apologist or any of that. What I'm trying to say is these journalists, they act like animals. That's what they do. They act like they're just like a bunch of rabid animals. Just screaming at a guy who probably doesn't even understand what they're saying. This was a really funny reaction from Putin. He was like, what do you, Mr. President, why you put up with this? I kill people who do this to me in Russia. Watch.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's go. Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you, press.
This is why I kill journalists in Mother Russia. Because they scream at me like rabid dog, and I do Christy Nom and kill the journalist. Look, I'm not saying the journalists shouldn't be trying to do their job, but like it's a terrible reflection on our country when you are like screaming in English at a guy who doesn't understand English, another world leader, and they're just shouting at him. And you just see his reaction. He was like, "You, Mr. President, you put up with this. You put up with this. I killed these people. They will go home, eat food from supermarket with poison in it, and be gone. No more journalists in Russia." That's what Putin does. Now, I'm not saying we should do that to our journalists. I'm just saying his reaction was kind of funny. All right, we're going to get to more about Zelensky in just a second. Before we do that, I want to get to a word from our good friends over at Patriot Mobile. That is patriotmobile.com/FARASH. PatriotMobile.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I know there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service and your carrier, and there are new ones popping up all over the place. But here's the truth. There is only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for. Freedom! And that is Patriot Mobile, right? Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And we have a bunch of people in our chat who have Patriot Mobile, and they absolutely love it. Matter of fact, if you do have Patriot Mobile in our chat, feel free to share your story with everybody else. Not only are they leading the way in this economy, but Patriot Mobile also outgains the competition when it comes to technology. Patriot Mobile is one of the only carriers with access to all three major U.S. networks. That means exceptional nationwide coverage, along with the ability to have multiple numbers on different networks on a single smartphone. Folks, this is what we like to call in the industry a game changer. A game changer. They also offer unlimited data plans, mobile hotspots, international roaming, internet backup, and so much more. Switching used to be a hassle, not anymore. It's easier than ever. Activated minutes from the comfort of your home. Keep your number, keep your phone, maybe upgrade your phone if you want one. Time to make the switch, folks. Make the switch today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Farish or call 972-PATRIOT. Use the promo code FARASH for a free month of service. That is patriotmobile.com/FARASH or 972-PATRIOT. Promo code FARASH. Let's take a trip down memory lane. As you see Wanda in our chat, W. Wilson 1964 saying, "I love Patriot Mobile." She does love her some Patriot Mobile.
Wow. Jay gives me, I guess, I have them had, oh my gosh.
All right.
I've had them since they started. They are the bomb.
All right, there you go. JG
I just can't speak, but other people
is
can.
me, 15. I have them since they started, ... They are the bomb. We love it. All right, Patriot Mobile. There you go. See, it says Patriot Mobile. The few times you need it, HR Shaw. Patriot Mobile. The few times you need it, you won't want to get off the phone with customer service. They're so nice and helpful. You know why? They're a U.S.-based customer service team. Love it. All right, let's take a trip down memory lane. You know, Donald Trump is meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky, right? Volodymyr Zelensky. Conservatives switching to Patriot Mobile for my family. PatriotMobile.com/FARASH. Conservative. Thank you. Volodymyr Zelensky, the last time he was here, well, let's just go out and say he had a little problem in the White House. Let's take a trip down memory lane and relive the February temper tantrum thrown by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are not
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful
to
come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering
position
on
to
this question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war,
you're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
Playing cards.
But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
even
entire
today,
meeting, you said thank you.
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
How about J.D. Vance, right? How about J.D.? That was like the first big moment where I was just like, I knew this guy was the right guy. J.D. Vance went off. He was like, if any fans of WWE out there from way back, Rob Van Dam used to climb up the ropes, do the Rob Van Dam, and then drop a 5-star frog splash on some dude laying in the middle of the ring. He would jump. That's what that was. That was a 5-star frog splash off the top rope on Vladimir Zelensky. J.D. Vance. That's what that was. That continued, though. That continued. Let's take a look at another clip. This is part 2 of the whole thing that went on there. I love Trump in that, by the way. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You don't have the cards, but you're playing cards. I loved. By the way, did you guys hear what Trump did over the weekend on Saturday? He endorsed breathing.
Bella. Oh.
Well, Bella also. Yeah, Bella. That was funny. Bella. He was like,
Bella.
He probably said, settle. He probably said, no, here's what he probably did. This is probably when Trump typed Bella, he probably went, you want to see me with people? Barrett, let me show you how to with people, okay? BELA, send. Watch what happens. That's probably what it was. That's probably what happened. Okay, Zelensky and Trump part 2 in the Oval Office. This is back in February. The meeting today is not until 1 o'clock Eastern time, so this is not a live meeting with Trump and Zelensky. This is what we're hoping to avoid today. Watch.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
even
entire
today,
meeting, you said thank you.
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait
answer?
a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
you
and not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me.
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on out here. I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
I can tell you
You're
again,
running low
I know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
that
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with
a
you.
guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
But this
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards, but without us, you don't have any cards.
I remember watching that, and I remember saying, I'm happy this was on display in front of the American people, because we got to see who was taking our money and how ungrateful this guy was. And he was a liar, by the way. And that meeting, the clips that go around, there's like 5 minutes worth of clips. We played about 4 minutes of them. There's about 5 minutes worth of clips for that whole thing, right? This is the part, he was lying the whole time and attempting to provoke something. That went on for an hour, and that was at the tail end of it. But Zelensky repeatedly lied about Donald Trump, including here when he says that Donald Trump was president in 2016. Folks, Donald Trump was not president of the United States in 2016. He ran for president in 2016. He won the election in 2016. But Donald Trump was not the president of the United States in the year 2016 at all. Yet Zelensky, in front of international media, lied about it just a few months ago.
You can't just speak about ceasefire and speak and speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will never work, because I'm like a president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine, before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times he broken his own signature. 25 times he broken ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke to me.
No, you were the president. You were the president during.
He never broke to me.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but he had.
In 2016, you were the president. No, you weren't. No, that is 100% a lie. 100%. Well, under you, under Trump, no, Putin did not invade Ukraine. Not even like this much. Finally, from that meeting was when Zelensky tried to say that, the United States wasn't giving vastly more aid than Europe.
We can help Europe because Europe really helped. President Trump said that they made less support, but they are our friends and they are our very supportive partners. They really gave a lot, Mr. President. They did.
They gave a lot, but they gave much less.
No.
Much less.
No. No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we've given way more than Europe has at all. 100%. We've given way more than the EU combined. You saw the little graph sneaking up the screen. I remember when I made that. You saw the little graph sneaking up the screen. We've given a lot more than Europe. The guy's a liar. He's a total liar. Now, even Vladimir Putin admits, as much as I don't like him, even Vladimir Putin on Friday admitted what? That, if Trump was president in 2022, there would have been no war. Straight from the horse's mouth. What?
I'd like to remind you that in 2022, during the last contact with the previous administration, I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities. And I said it quite directly back then that it's a big mistake. Today, when President Trump is saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, business-like and trustworthy contact. And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine.
There you go. Okay? Even Putin admits. Even Vladimir Putin admitted if Trump was president, there would have been no war in Ukraine. There would have been no war in Ukraine. Trump has said it. Putin has said it. Vladimir Zelensky lied about it, said Putin, invaded Ukraine under you in 2016. Trump wasn't president in 2016. Obama was. Last bit, actually, we have a couple more videos, but I want to play this one from Marco Rubio talking to the skin suit wearing beast of a woman, as Stubbs says, the talking catcher's mitt, Martha Raddatz. There is no way to, because the media freaked out, right? The media freaked out about Trump dealing with Putin, having this meeting in Alaska. Oh, you rolled out the red carpet, and he flew the B-2s overhead and all this crap, right? Vladimir Putin, there is no way to end this war. You know, the media likes to call it Putin's war, right? Putin invaded Ukraine. Well, there's no way to end it without dealing with Putin. Marco Rubio tells the talking catcher's mitt, Martha Raddatz, that very thing. And she has a hard time understanding.
Critics of President Trump will say the pomp and circumstance, the red carpet, the warm handshake, that President Trump simply lost that Putin gained there just by being on the world stage and walking down a red carpet with the president. Your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, critics of President Trump are always going to find something to criticize. You don't even pay attention to it anymore. But I will tell you this, Putin is already on the world stage. He's already on the world stage. The guy's conducting a full-scale war in Ukraine. He's already on the world stage. He has the world's largest tactical nuclear arsenal in the world and the second largest strategic nuclear arsenal in the world. He's already on the world stage. When I hear people say that, oh, it elevates him, well, all we do is talk about Putin all the time. All the media's done is talk about Putin all the time for the last 4 or 5 years. That doesn't mean he's right about the war. That doesn't mean he's justified about the war. Put all that aside. It means you're not going to have a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. You're not going to end a war between Russia and Ukraine without dealing with Putin. That's just common sense. I shouldn't even have to say it. So people can say whatever they want. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we have to get the Russian side to agree to things that they don't want to agree to if we're going to have peace. If not, there'll just be a war. They'll keep killing each other. And life will go on in America and in the rest of the world, but not for Ukraine. So the president has invested a lot of time in trying to bring an end to this war. He deserves credit for doing that. He gets criticism for doing that. He could have just let this war go on. The president could have just said, this is Biden's war. It started under him. We'll do what we can for Ukraine, but we're going to focus on other things. He could have easily said that. But he's the only leader in the world that can get Putin to a meeting to talk about serious things.
All right, there it is. Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio explaining there's no way to end the war without talking to both sides. That includes Vladimir Putin. Look, we're looking to avoid what happened in February with Zelensky today. There's going to be a bunch of European leaders coming in. Talking points have gone out. Oh, the Trump-Alaska summit was a failure. That's why all of Europe has to come there and have Zelensky's back. It's going to be a big day today. And there are people, even on the left, who are saying, look, we are as close to peace now as we have ever been. I'm going to play a clip from CNN. I'm going to play a clip from crooked Hillary Clinton. Now, I think crooked Hillary Clinton has other motives as to why she's being nice to Trump. I think somebody is wants to avoid being indicted, right? Avoid being indicted. And I do believe that there are going to be some really significant indictments coming down the road with the Spygate investigation. I'm just saying, keep the faith, stay the course. It's okay to be cautiously optimistic. It's okay to be skeptical about results. But I'm telling you, keep the faith, stay the course. I think something big is coming down the road with the Russiagate, Spygate investigation. I think something big's coming down the road with the Letitia James investigation, too. Did you see Ed Martin and Neil McCabe together? The great Neil McCabe, the great Ed Martin. Did you see them hanging out outside of Letitia James' house up there in New York? Looking at it? Mortgage fraud. They were looking for Sasquatch. That's Letitia James right there. They were looking for.
She was on a walk.
Don't feed Sasquatch. Don't do it. Okay.
Hobby Lobby for the win, too, by the way.
That's a Hobby Lobby.
They have a whole Sasquatch section just for her.
That's it. It's a whole section dedicated to Letitia James. All right, I'm going to call a timeout. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to do a little bit more on the Russia stuff. And then here we go. But I have a question. What is going on in the chat today? Is Jose in the chat being a problem?
Yeah, and he's making lovely names about me now.
Oh, that's good. That's great.
So I'm Jimmy. If you don't want to be blocked, don't come in here acting like a fool.
Yeah.
The block button is there for a reason.
Right. And especially if you're a distraction.
I mean, oh, you don't like the First Amendment. No, we don't like you.
Yeah. Well, there it is. Yeah, I have no problem with the First Amendment. I have a problem with Jose Cuervo. All right, so Jose, he really does not like. You know what? Every time he gets blocked, just everyone put in the chat, no way, Jose, or something. You know, because that's it. Because I have no. And by the way, I have a sneaking suspicion that he's not actually a drunk. I have a suspicion that
that's just
he just wants attention, which we've called out for months at this point. However, you know, if he is, he shouldn't be doing that. No one's putting a gun to his head, forcing him to drink, right? So, put the bottle down, Jose, if there even is a bottle. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Let's go to mypatriotsupply.com. That's mypatriotsupply.com, mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Folks, the summer's not just hot, it's been historic. Now, Hurricane Erin, I saw some people on social media over the weekend fear-mongering a little bit, and there's a difference. Look, there's a difference between saying, hey, prepare just in case things change, and fear-mongering. And I saw a lot of people that were actually saying, no, it's tracking south, and it's going to change, and it's going to do this, it's going to do that. That's fear-mongering, okay? It's not going to impact the United States. It is going to turn out to sea. However, there are other storms that may start up behind it, right? And so I would say it's always a good idea in the month of August, you know, keep your eye on the Gulf, et cetera, et cetera. But this summer has not been just hot. It has been historically hot. I mean, we have had just an absolute scorcher of a summer here in Tennessee. Flash flood warnings are at a 40-year high, and it's not slowing down. Towns are underwater. Roads are being washed out. And in every crisis zone, you see the same scene. Crowds are standing in line waiting for bottled water, waiting for food, waiting for somebody to show up and save them. They tell you that help is on the way, but what if it isn't on the way? What if help takes days? What if help does not come at all? If you think the system is built to protect you, I got news for you. They could barely handle one emergency, let alone dozens. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be the one who is caught empty-handed with my pants down in the middle of an emergency. Not me. So I want you to go to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Find out how to claim your free 4-week food supply and join millions of people, of Americans, right, who are preparing with mypatriotsupply.com. When you order the 3-month emergency food kit, you get a free 4-week food kit if you go to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. 3-month emergency food kit, free month on top of that. 3 months for a free month. Get it? mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. It's 2,000 calories a day, 25-year shelf life. So even if the emergency doesn't hit this year or next year or the year after that, you'll still be good to go. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned, mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Okay. Why do you have to pull your pants down just because you're empty-handed? Well, that's a question for maybe prison. I don't know. Let's get to, I have a feeling George Santos might know a thing or two about that right now. No. Yeah, no love lost there, by the way. Not an ounce. All right, here's Michael Smerconish, who tends to be a little bit more like he tries to play the moderate. He's on the left, but he tries to keep it real on CNN. And here was Michael Smerconish basically giving you the common sense facts. He was doing like a Chuck Todd, if you will, basically saying, look, this is the story. This is the closest that we've ever been to peace. Watch Michael Smerconish on CNN.
If, in fact, he brokers a peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia, one that does not sell out Ukraine, then, yes, I'm with Secretary Clinton, and I'd nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize. This is today's poll question at Smerconish.com. Put it up on the screen. Make sure you're going and casting your ballot on this. If President Trump brokers a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine that Ukraine finds acceptable, I was very careful to put that in the question. I didn't just say, should he get a Nobel Peace Prize? First of all, they've got to resolve the war, and Ukraine has to find it acceptable. And frankly, I don't know how you'd vote no on that. I don't know how. I'm prepared. Let me just say this. I proved this to you last week on air when I covered my eyes and Catherine asked me to predict, what's the outcome of the poll. You learned a couple of things. I don't cheat on these things. I really don't know what the results are. I anticipate that President Trump is going to come out on the losing end of this stick. when we come back with the results in just a few minutes. But I don't get it. I truly don't get it. That will be Trump derangement syndrome. Because how could you say if he negotiates a fair peace that he's undeserving? I don't understand it. I really don't.
Michael Smirkonish saying Trump derangement syndrome on CNN. You know, when he said that, there was probably some like it was like melting down into the ground. CNN said, you are not allowed to say Trump derangement syndrome unless you're Scott Jennings, who now follows me on X, which is really great, by the way, which is really exciting. Get your own chart. I love it. The great Scott Jennings is now on, he's following me on X, which was like, oh my gosh, great. I'm still jealous of Dan Nunn, who interviewed Scott Jennings in person at Turning Point. That was pretty cool. So there's Michael Smirkonish. Now, he talked about Hillary Clinton. This is what I think is going on with crooked. She's a crooked person. Very crooked. This is, Fonda is like, wait, CNN? They said TDS on CNN? Michael Smirkonish said it. If you vote no, that if Ukraine and Russia agree to a peace deal and Trump brokers that deal, and you vote that Trump should not get a Nobel Prize or be nominated for a Nobel Prize, you have Trump derangement syndrome. Big. That's big coming out of CNN. That's big. That could be why you have all these leftists who are trying to undermine peace talks right now. Because that's the last thing they want to see is Donald Trump get nominated for a Nobel Prize, especially right before the midterms, etc. Okay, but you also have this. Look, there are different stages of leftists, right? You know, there's your Rachel Madcows, who is a die-in-the-wool leftist, Joy Reid, a die-in-the-wool leftist, right? You have these people who are just hard left. They're never going to admit that Donald Trump is right, ever, ever, ever in the history of ever, right? You have those people. We all know who they are. We've seen them. We know who they are, right? And you've got people like Michael Smirkonish, who every now and then, he's a leftist, but every now and then he invokes a little bit of common sense, right? And he will admit that there are things that Trump is doing that he likes or approves of or that are working, right? He'll tell it to you how it is. He's not as bad as some of the people on CNN. I'm not saying I love the guy. I'm saying he's not as bad. Then you have Hillary Clinton, who is like the queen of Trump derangement syndrome. And not just in this clip is it Hillary Clinton, but it's Hillary Clinton and Jessica Tarlov, who Dan Bongino called the queen of the Karens, right? Both of them on the same screen. And you've got Hillary basically, I know Jeremy said, Vladimir Zelensky should get some knee pads for today. Hillary looked like she was wearing the knee pads in this clip because she's like, oh yeah, I'd nominate Trump for a Nobel. You know what this is? She doesn't want Trump to get no Nobel Prize. She doesn't want to she doesn't care about peace between Russia and Ukraine. Hillary doesn't want to get indicted. That's all this is. Hillary Clinton is kissing Trump's rump right now to try and avoid an indictment. That is all this is. Hillary doesn't want to get indicted. She doesn't want to be held accountable. Hey, Donald, remember, we were friends before you decided to run for president and whoop my ass in an election. Remember, we were friends. Don't indict me, please. That's all this is. But it is interesting to hear these words coming out of her mouth on screen with the queen of the Karens, as Tim Bongino called her, Jessica Tarlov. Watch this.
I actually was encouraged by the events of the last several months. First of all, the NATO commitment by individual member states to increase their defense spending is very welcome. It's something that prior administrations have certainly sought, and I think it's great that we are seeing these commitments that now have to be followed through on. The willingness of European countries to support Ukraine, and by doing so, buy American weapons in order to provide them to the Ukrainians. I think all of that is a very good signal that there is beginning to be a better understanding, both by the president and the people around him, as well as by the leaders of our European allies, that there can be common ground amongst us. And the kind of dismissiveness that we saw in the first Trump administration has been replaced by a much more obvious working relationship to the good of European security, transatlantic security, and hopefully Ukrainian security. So I'm actually encouraged.
Oh, she's speaking so nicely about Donald Trump. By the way, keep an eye on Tarloff. She's got the glasses. The next step is probably the hair. Then she becomes paler, and she will morph into another version of Rosie O'Donnell or Keith Olbermann or Mark Cuban or Rachel Madcow or Jim Acosta now, who has joined that group. So keep an eye, because Tarloff is starting. She's got the glasses. That's usually the first step, is the glasses. And then the full, transformation takes shape. Hillary is trying to avoid an indictment. Not that what she's saying is necessarily untrue about the good work that this administration is doing in pursuit of peace, but she's trying to avoid being held accountable. That's all that is. There is no reason why, a few weeks after a grand jury investigation was announced in the Russia hoax case, involving Hillary Clinton, the dossier, there's no reason like a light switch. Oh, Trump's great. He's doing great work with Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, I'm sure that's totally organic, Hillary. I'm sure. She just doesn't want to be indicted. Guess what? It's not going to save her. I think she's in big trouble. Okay, Politico. We're going to pivot off the Russia stuff. Politico, otherwise known as Bull Sugar Honey Iced Teaco, right, has published a new hoax. This is the moped hoax. Politico pushed a new hoax claiming, quote, a moped driver was randomly arrested by, quote, a group of masked law enforcement officers. But Caroline Levitt debunked that story. It wasn't just a random moped driver. This was a person who, according to Caroline Levitt, said the following: the illegal alien criminal resisted arrest and a law enforcement official suffered a concussion as a result. He was an illegal alien criminal. The moped driver was an illegal alien criminal from Venezuela with suspected gang affiliation and an active and final order of removal from the country. Upon his arrest, the illegal alien criminal resisted arrest and a law enforcement officer suffered a concussion as a result. Politico playbook today was written to fear, this was yesterday, I believe, was written to fear D.C. residents into believing federal law enforcement randomly arrested an innocent moped driver. If Politico had reached out to the White House for comment before publishing, we could have provided them with the facts. But Politico is not interested in contacting the White House and is never in pursuit of the facts. They are in pursuit of hoaxes and narratives. And that's exactly what happened with the moped hoax. So it was an illegal alien, an ayayito, right? An illegal alien moped driver who was supposed to have been deported already, was on final removal order, who, when caught, gave an officer a concussion. What do we say about that person? Thank you. Police Commissioner Rooster, nobody is above the law. Speaking of DC crime and fear-mongering, here is Chia Karen Bass, Los Angeles' least favorite chia pet with the hairdo of the used rusty Brillo pad, being about as racist as I could possibly imagine, or maybe not racist, but she's accidentally telling on themselves and telling on herself and admitting what the real problem is in Washington, D.C. Listen to this and tell me if you could figure this out.
I'm very concerned about that. And not only that, I'm concerned about the way he is rolling that out in Washington, D.C., which is essentially going after young black and brown youth in Washington, D.C., imposing a curfew, saying that if they violate the curfew, the parents could be charged $500, saying that the kids could be detained and arrested. We've tried those policies before. They do not work. And it's my understanding that crime was going down in Washington, D.C. So what is the purpose of this?
It's going to disproportionately affect black and brown youth? Wait, what? Wait. So how could cracking down on crime disproportionately affect black and brown youth?
I'm very concerned about that. And not only that, I'm concerned about the way he is rolling that out in Washington, D.C., which is essentially going after young black and brown youth in Washington, D.C.
How is that a problem? Wait a second. If you're not going after black and brown youth because they're obeying the law, A black or brown 15-year-old who walks into a 7-Eleven and walks out with a pack of gum because he bought it, or a Red Bull, or a couple of snacks or whatever it is, a Slurpee. Those kids are not being arrested for obeying the law. What is Karen Bass admitting here? What is Karen Bass admitting? Is she admitting that black and brown youth are responsible for the bulk of the crime in D.C.? Because that's what it sounds like she's admitting, right? Think, Donald Trump is cracking down on crime. The crackdown is going to impact black and brown youth. Well, why? If black and brown youth aren't committing the crime, then the crackdown on crime wouldn't impact them. The only way that what she's saying is true is if she's at the same time, without even noticing it, but she's doing that, also admitting that the crime crackdown impacts black and brown youth because it is predominantly black and brown youth that are committing the bulk of the crime in D.C. The crackdown on crime wouldn't impact black and brown youth if black and brown youth weren't committing crimes, right? Right? Look, I'll tell you one thing. I'll be completely honest. I speed a lot. I always go too fast, okay? That's the truth. I don't like speed limits. I think they're a suggestion. I'm not saying you should follow my lead. I'm just telling you this is how it is. If Tennessee decided they were going to crack down on speeding, I would be a little worried because I speed, right? However, if Tennessee said they're going to crack down on drug dealing, right, and human trafficking, I'm not worried because I don't deal drugs and I don't human traffic, right? That's my point. Karen Bass is saying, well, the crackdown on crime, it's going to impact black and brown youth. Well, why is it going to impact black and brown youth? If the black and brown youth aren't committing crimes, it shouldn't be a problem. Is Karen Bass admitting, which she absolutely is, it's a rhetorical question. Yes, Karen Bass is admitting that black and brown youth in Washington, D.C. are committing the bulk of the crime. That's it. They always tell on themselves. They always tell on themselves. Like always. Without hesitation. Okay. I do follow speed limits in school zones when the lights are flashing. I don't want to hit a kid.
Right.
Work zones, I also do too.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hit a flag. But when it's a wide open road, as far as I'm concerned, there's no speed limit. He says, Sean, that's too much truth. No, it's not. You can't write me a speeding ticket because I say I speed. You have to catch me speeding. Now, if someone catches me speeding, I understand. I'm accountable. I get it. Hopefully, we could do a little Trump impersonation for the cop. You're a beautiful cop. You're a great guy. The fake news calls you a flatfoot. We're never going to do that. You're a great, we love the police. We'll see what happens. I've gotten out of a few tickets, not by doing that, but I'm having fun with the police officer. Okay, let's get to a word from our friends over at Silent. That is slnt.com. slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN. Let's face it, your phone, as much as I love it, love my phone, does a lot of good things for me, but also a lot of bad things. It's a tracking device. Government agencies, big tech, corporate data brokers, even cyber criminals, they're all fighting for a piece of your digital footprint. And they don't ask. They don't ask, they just take it. That is why Silent exists. Silent makes Faraday gear that blocks all wireless signals, including cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and near-field communication. No signal means no tracking, no remote access, no breadcrumbs. It's the same tech that is trusted by special operations teams worldwide, used to block signals, avoid surveillance, and secure communications wherever the mission leads. And right now, it is available to you to protect your family, to protect your freedom, and to protect your digital footprint. Drop your phone in a silent Faraday sleeve and it is off the grid. Completely silent, invisible to the outside world. From backpacks to sleeves to crossbodies, Silent's patented technology gives you control over your privacy. Just visit silent, slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN, to save 15% off and get free shipping on qualifying orders. That is silent.com/Sean, SHAWN. Protect your rights, secure your data, stay one step ahead, and silence the chaos. SLNT, silent.com/Sean, SHAWN, for 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. I want to get to Joy Reid while we're talking about racist nasty people. We don't need to use the worst language today, do we? Joy Reid, glasses out. Use protection. for your eyes. Remember, I got to play this disclaimer before we play a video of Joy Reid. We put our Joy Reid safety glasses on because prolonged exposure to Joy Reid, 30 seconds or more, can cause explosive diarrhea, suicidal thoughts, and itching and burning of the skin, eyes, or face. So, and projectile vomiting as well. So get your glasses out if you have it, or turn away and watch it on the reflection. You know, like what you'd have to do with Medusa to avoid the side effects of exposure to Joy Reid. So my glasses are on. Here's Joy Reid taking a swipe at white people, which is just hilarious, and we'll tell you why at the end of the clip.
They can't fix the history they did. Their ancestors made this country into a slave hell. But they can clean it up now because they got the Smithsonian. They can get rid of all the slavery stuff. They got PragerU. They can lie about the history to the children. They can't originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. We black folk gave y'all country music, hip hop, R&B, jazz, rock and roll. They couldn't even invent that, but they have to call a white man the king. Because they couldn't make rock and roll. So they have to stamp the king on a man whose main song was stolen from an overweight black woman.
All right, glasses off. I hope you guys are okay after that. White people apparently have never invented anything, which is ironic. Did you notice what platform she was on? What that podcast, what platform it was hosted on? If you look on the right portion of the screen there. Substack. Substack was founded by a man by the name of Chris Best. Yes, you got it. You guessed it. Chris Best happens to be white. So, white people have not invented anything. She's literally on a platform, on a podcast that was invented by a white guy. Great job, Joy Reid. Wonderful job. Not that I care who invents what, but I have a feeling electricity was invented by a white dude, right? The internet, right? I think the internet was... I'm not saying anything race. I'm just, she's on the internet. Blue Sky. Blue Sky was invented by Jack Dorsey, I believe, founded by the former CEO of Twitter. She's big into Blue Sky. Jack Dorsey is also white, last time I checked. So, Joy Reid, the total hypocrite. Complete and total hypocrite. Gotta love it, though. She gives us some great content. I hope your eyes didn't burn off. All right, folks, tryarmor.com/LFA TV. Here's a word from our friends over at Armra Colostrum. They've been a loyal supporter of the show. Check them out, tryarmor.com/LFA TV. You know I'm always on the lookout for ways to strengthen my immunity, my gut health, improve my fitness and metabolism, and enhance my skin and hair radiance. This is Armra Colostrum. It can do all that and more for you. Colostrum is the first nutrition we receive in life. Contains all the essential nutrients that our bodies need in order to thrive. And we stop getting it, right? We stop receiving that nutrition from colostrum after we're babies. It goes away. Why should we settle for that? No. This is what Armra Colostrum can help you with. It can help you reactivate your hair growth, help your skin glow. It can help fortify your gut health and ignite your metabolism, and it can help fuel your fitness, performance, and recovery. Check it out at tryarmra.com/LFA TV, tryarmra.com/LFA TV. That's tryarmra.com/Lima Foxtrot Alpha Tango Victor for 15% off of your first order. tryarmra.com/LFA TV. tryarmra.com/LFA TV. Okay, I want to talk to you about this story real quick. Did you hear what happened in Florida with this illegal alien in the truck, Brennan, on the Florida highway?
No.
This is a bad story.
I didn't hear that.
This is a bad story. The illegal alien trucker killed 3 people, right? It's been all over the place. It's really sad.
Yeah.
The illegal alien was driving a truck, made an illegal U-turn on a Florida highway, and killed 3 people. Would you like to guess where he got his? Would you like to guess where he got his driver's license? What state he got his driver's license in?
New York.
Nope. Try another one.
California.
There you go. It's either one of those two, right? It's either one of those two. They gave this guy a driver's license. Now, I have been saying for a long time, I have been saying for a very long time, the language barrier issue in this country, while it used to infuriate me when I worked in customer service and retail, different jobs all across the workforce, but primarily It was sometimes a battle at Sherwin-Williams, right? Because we had a lot of people who didn't speak English from time to time. Most of the time we were able to work through it, etc. That's just an inconvenience. But the language barrier issue in the United States, and why I have always been a believer in making English the official language of the United States, is because of safety, right? And eventually you were going to get these situations where these illegal aliens who you're giving driver's licenses, who don't understand English, are going to be on the road not knowing what the road signs say because it's written in a language that they don't understand. Now, maybe that's not what happened here in Florida. The fact of the matter is this guy killed 3 people. He should not have been in this country, and he should not have had a driver's license. But California let him stay and gave him a license. This coming also, Brennan said New York. Maybe New York was the culprit. No, but the bucktooth Botox booby bandit of Buffalo, Kathy Hochul, has pardoned over a dozen illegal aliens with criminal records, including a guy convicted of manslaughter. Why did she do that? So that they can't be deported. Now, they're still illegal. And if they're illegally in the country, they can be deported. And I think maybe she might have done ICE a favor because she listed their names. Maybe now we know where they are and who they are. But I have just had it with these Democrats putting illegals first. It is disgusting. And I hope more than just us are paying attention to it. I really do. I hope it's more than just us. Because this is a serious... Look, I mean, what happened in Florida was totally preventable. Totally preventable. And yet, you're dealing with the loss of 3 lives on the road at the hands of somebody who doesn't belong here, who never should have gotten a license because he never should have been in the country in the first place. Just awful. Just awful. All right. Jeremy Harrell coming up next. We do have the Trump-Zelensky meeting. That is around 1:10 Eastern time, give or take. Obviously, you know, sometimes these things run late, but that will be later. And I am well aware. I know Jeremy and everybody will be doing their best to bring you that meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Zelensky. Packed schedule all day at the White House. Before Jeremy comes on, go ahead and head over to the LFA TV store, lfatv.us. Click on that store tab. Click on the visit the store tab. We've got a new product here, the LFA TV hats. The official LFA logo, 2-color hats. I love those hats, by the way. Very nice hats. LFATV.us. LFATV.us. You could pick up the I Don't Really Care Margaret shirt that everyone at the Ark loved. So check it out. LFATV.us or JeremyHarrell.com/store. Jeremy coming on right now for the next 3 hours here on LFA TV. Jeremy fresh off another birthday. So we say a happy belated birthday to the great Jeremy Harrell. Thank you so much for watching and listening. As President Trump says, we will never give up. We will never give in. We will never ever surrender. If all else fails, we'll just become ungovernable. Thank you. God bless you. God bless this one nation. Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place, hopefully with good results from the White House meeting. Until then, have a great day, and thank you for your attention to this matter.